got the original dash. What's crazy, this thing had almost 1,000,000 miles on it. 940,000. It's in pretty good shape. Gonna have to be cleaned up, but all the wires, I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this thing to work. All these are seized and I couldn't really get them off. I have both doors, passenger and driver's side doors. Both handles work, windows work. Gonna have to be repainted like everything else. Gonna need to get a handle or build my own. So in here on the floorboard of the right side, the driver's side, it seems that the body mount has pushed through and it's pushed up the floor pan. So this is going to need to be taken off, fix this hole too, basically do a new sheet. We'll fix that. There's a hole right here for a seat, the seat mount, and then over here, for where the buckle mounts in, is rusted out a little bit, but there's a big thick plate on the other side, so that's just surface. That's nothing too bad. So the biggest hole, I think, is right here where the battery tray went. It bolts up here and then the tray is right here. It's got another bolt down here where it has an arm. It completely rusted out this back section, which is gonna have to be definitely replaced. Won't be too bad, just gotta cut this out, probably rebuild this bottom part, and that should be good for that. The rest of the frame is in actually very good shape. Even up under there is not too bad. The muffler's gone, but who needs a muffler? The air conditioning, well, heater's here, but I'm not going to use it, so that's going to get torn out. The brakes surprisingly worked when I got this, but definitely going to be replacing those. See, I already cut the lines to get this front axle out, just to get it out of my way. Some other holes. This hole, it just rusted through. Not too bad. That's repairable. Up under here where the rails are, this side's not as bad. Back here it's a little crusty and there's some holes. Definitely right here. But the other side is much worse. It is. I found multiple holes just popping through, especially near the front right here. That's just a hole right through it. And this side, the floorboards are almost perfect. A little rusty and all oily because there was a transmission sitting right here. That one. That big boy. You get a firewall insulation stuff out. Going to need to drop the rear axle and take that out, but I don't have a socket big enough right now, so I'm going to have to wait on that. The rear bumper, perfect. I have these lights. That one, the Phillips heads have stripped, so I'm going to have to get a screw remover or just drill those out. I don't have a back door. There's a guy on Facebook that has one, but it's a little pricey right now, so hopefully I can talk him down on it. Get one for get the back door. It's already got the mounting point. I have these lights, the reflector, but on top of here, it's not too bad. I did take out the vent because it needed to come out. It was a little crusty. As everything on this is crusty. I have these lights taken out. Doors. So I do have the original wiring harness, the right-hand drive steering box. Come in here, I have the steering wheel. I have the shifter that was in it. That's actually the shifter that was in it. And that is a spare one that came inside. Everything in here was either on it or inside that Jeep. It was very heavy to load. The backup, the rear lights, front headlights, random carburetor, the fan that goes inside, a few extra random bits. Oh, the parking brake right there. I have new set of horns. The hood was in very good shape. I pressure washed it. It's only got surface rust. It's basically perfect. Gonna repaint it though eventually. It is almost perfect. It's got a little bit of pitting on it from rust, but fixable. The steering, whole steering column came out fairly easy. More inside parts. That is the vent on the roof. That's a random radiator that came inside. I have many drive shafts. Don't know why there's that many inside of it. Bunch of pulleys, random bolts, parts, random headers. What else? These things are heavy. I have two of those for some reason. There's a whole bunch of random wires and tubes. Came with a jack. That was pretty cool. And there is there's three starters for something. And that bucket is full of pistons. And I got those. And I do have the original transmission mount, which is great. That's going to help when I get the transmission in it from the other Jeep, which I will show you next. So that's the transmission. I have another fuel cap hose, which slightly cut me. Yeah, I'll go show you the other Jeep now. This is the other Jeep. It is a '86 Cherokee Chief. Body's in terrible condition. Inside it's wrecked. No windows. That's the only door it opens except for the one that got ripped off. Don't ask me how it got ripped off. It didn't want to shut, so it got ripped off. But under the hood is a 2.8 V6. It's all crusty. Hopefully going to rebuild the whole thing. Put all new gaskets. Might get a whole rebuild kit. Do all the bearings and everything. But it runs. We tested that. Runs decent off starter fluid, so we'll definitely test it some more. I might be taking the whole brake system out of this too. I'm definitely... Oh, that's a wasp. I'm definitely taking the axles, front and rear. Even though this is a left-hand drive, I'm going to convert it to right. And the whole drive shaft, four-wheel drive. I don't know if you can see it, but everything out of this. I don't know how I'm going to do the front end yet that well, but it should work out fine. Hopefully. It's going to be quite a project, but it'll be good. The radiator was bad in this. It had a few holes in it, so we're probably just going to go to a junkyard, find a Jeep around the same model, just make sure it fits into the older Jeep, the male Jeep, and that should work. Not going to be using cruise control. This is just going to be basically the engine. Everything's going to be manual, basically. It's going to be using the automatic transmission. So it'll be a fun project. Already got a lot done. This thing's ready to be pulled out. Just got to get the engine hoist here and get the transmission bolts undone. I already started working on this fender a little bit, but that one I have not touched. They're in pretty decent shape. The undersides were a little crusty, but if I turn this over, the underside's a little crusty. Not too bad to deal with. Wire brush on a drill and a angle grinder with a sanding disc. Not too bad. Front grille, basically as good as it can be for a year. Yeah, it's going to be needed to be repainted. So I'm wanting to do a nice postal blue for the bottom half. So from like here at this body line down, nice postal blue. That is a code color, or a paint code. Up from here up, white, all white, and then they originally had a red, white, and blue stripe from here. Let me put down a flashlight. From here to here, you can kind of see it where they originally had it and it wore off. I want to put that back on it all the way around. Get some nice off-road, like a mixture between off-road and on-road tires for it, and fix the front bumper. Someone somehow ripped a whole big square right out of this. Don't know how, but I'm just gonna cut that, put a new plate, and weld it. What else? I think I've talked about almost everything. Just gotta fix holes. Basically grind every surface there is. I'd like to get the body off and take it out the big back door. Just get like 4 or 5 guys, just walk it straight out. And then I can get to the rear axle, all the brake lines, super easy. I don't have to get under this thing. Get all the rust off, and then look at some bed lining options, because I want to use that on the frame. I think that would work great. I think that'll hold up the best instead of just painting it black. I think that should be pretty good from what I've seen. Probably, well, if we had water out here, I'd pressure wash it all right now. But we don't have water, so if we do get this off, put it on a trailer, bring it to the house, pressure wash it, bring it back. And that would be perfect.